businesses here that can benefit from their services. So we have Aiden Glover here, as I said again, from Pro Flow Power Washing Solutions. Aiden, just tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started, your journey.
Of course. So I grew up down in Southwest Florida. A little bit after COVID, and I believe 2021, I moved up here so I can afford moving out and kind of be closer to some of my family and that kind of thing. Being up here, I wanted to start a business, so I kind of looked around at some different options, and pressure and soft washing kind of fit the build. It kind of was a good entry business for me to learn the business world and kind of get into the community while still not getting in at too large of an investment into a company and that kind of thing. Okay. So I've been here about 3 years now. We built the business over the past year, and we launched about 6 months ago now, and I'm doing it full time and just growing the business any way I can now.
Okay, so that's basically what brought you from Florida to here, was wanting to start a business, or what transitioned you the most to North Carolina, to this area? So
it was a lot of, I wanted to get out on my own, start my own business, kind of move out and that kind of thing. And down in Florida, it was really expensive. It's kind of would have been really hard to move out and that kind of thing. And I had some better opportunities up here work-wise, so it kind of just made the most sense to move up here.
Made the most sense out of it. Okay, and so, what kind of services do you offer clients here in the region?
Of course. So I offer full-service residential and commercial pressure and soft washing. So we do everything from roofs, gutters, gutter cleanouts, gutter whitening, siding from all different kinds. So all your brick and stucco and your normal vinyl siding. We also get into obviously pressure washing. So we clean all the concrete, bricks and that kind of thing. We do pavers with resanding afterwards. And we also get into a lot of specialty stains. So in this area we have the red mud, which is notorious for your surfaces, and it just stains the crap out of everything.
Right.
So we go in and treat that and remove it to the best of our abilities.
Okay. Yeah. And one of the things that I've done here with Worx is we're always wanting to educate our homeowners. And, it's one of those things that a lot of times they may not even need a roof. They just need to do general maintenance on it. So I'm always big about maintenance.
Yeah.
That we do to the roofs to help prolong the life. There's different ways that we can do it in the maintenance for them. But one of the things that I feel can be a benefit to customers for people that maybe just have moss or black algae on their roofs is, a soft wash. But so many guys out there, they talk about pressure washing, and there's a difference between the pressure washing and the soft wash. If you could just, educate the homeowners there so they can understand what's going on, because when you mentioned roofing, what is it that you do to the roof? What is it that you're going to do to it that will help, prolong the longevity of it for them as much as possible without hurting the roof? Because from a roofing standpoint, we always want to make sure that we're not getting up there with just a pressure washer and pressure washing it off. So we don't want our homeowners up there doing that pressure washing to mess up their roof line. So if you would just explain that process for us.
So our process, how it works is, obviously, I'll just give you the full overview. So you call me, I'll come over to your house, I take a look at your roof, point out anything I notice that is strange. If you have any soffits that are kind of broken or that kind of thing, that could be some concerns for the roof. And then whenever I go to start the process of actually cleaning, what I will do is I'll get everything wet. What that does is it cools the roof just in case there's no flash oxidation from any chemicals or that kind of thing. And then after that, I spray my solution on. The solution is a sodium hydrochloride solution. It is what most roof manufacturing and shingle companies recommend to use. And it's basically a bleach solution with a surfactant or a soap that makes it stick longer, and it also adds a scent so you don't smell that bleach smell as much.
Okay.
So we apply that solution. Depending on the severity of the roof, it depends on how strong that solution is and that kind of thing, of how much it's needed to remove the organics that are on the roof. So we spray that on. You spray it all over the roof. Let it dwell for about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on severity.
Okay.
And then after that, you literally just rinse it right off. So it protects all your surfaces. It's all low PSI, high volume water compared to a pressure washer, where a pressure washer is high PSI, low volume, and just blasting everything. If you were to do that on a shingle roof or a lot of roofs, it will literally just destroy it and pull it all apart, and you'll check in your gutters and it looks like you have a bunch of sand in your gutters now, but it's your roof now, all in your gutters.
Right. So, and that's the one thing we look for when we're on the roofing end, is how much granule loss they've got going off into their gutters. So what you're telling folks here is that, when you do the soft wash, they're not going to see a lot of granule loss coming off their roof, because that's the first thing that, as a roofer, we try to educate them on is, the amount of granules. Now, you're always going to have some granules that come off, but you don't want an excessive amount, coming off. So we want to make sure that, the things that we're doing up there, it's helping the homeowner.
Of course.
So on that, when you do that soft wash on there, what all are you cleaning off of the roof? I mean, is it taking care of the black algae? What about your moss? What things is it taking off? And how often how often should a homeowner, do a soft wash? Is it something they just need to do once every couple of years, every year? Tell us a little bit about that.
Of course. So this process, it removes almost all organic. I say almost because sometimes you get a really bad roof and it has clumps of algae and stuff just growing, and you'll have to kind of let that die off and then kind of give it a little brush with a light brush or something like that to get it to pop off. But it removes all the organics, and what it does is it chemically breaks them down and just melts them in a way where as soon as you're spraying on a solution and letting that sit and rinsing it, you can literally see it coming right off, and you'll see your black dirty water just come
right off,
running off that roof.
Okay. And so with the black algae is a little bit different than the moss that gets on there. So my recommendation for folks would be on something like that when it comes to moss is, when you start getting into a heavier clump, you've actually already done the damage to the roof. It's no matter what you do, it's going to peel the granules off of it. So it's better. That is correct. So it's better off to catch it in the beginning when it's smaller, and at that time, that's something that you can help clear up. Is when it's the little bitties. When it starts getting big and you got the big amounts of moss from the trees and stuff on there, at that point that becomes a time that you got to really look at, okay, what condition is my roof in, because it's going to pull the larger clumps of it off.
At that point, that's when I give you a call and have you come take a look at their roof. Yes,
right.
Sir.
So that is the advantages of having it out there and having it done on a regular. Just like we always say, having a regular roof inspection, that way we can catch the things that are going on out there. A lot of times if we catch it early, you may not need a full roof replacement. We may be able to buy you time on your roof for the longevity just by doing certain maintenance things. So it's something I would recommend, even on the having it checked for little bits of algae buildup, but the black algae, getting it taken care of, but making sure there's no moss buildup in the areas and the cleaning out. So
usually we usually for your home, for roof specifically, depending on the area, it depends how much you're going to have to clean it and that kind of thing.
Okay.
If you have massive oak trees in our area, we have a bunch of oak trees everywhere. If your house is right under massive oak trees, you're most likely going to have to do it at least once a year.
Okay.
Because the oak trees just don't allow so much sunshine to get on it, and all of the organics from the trees itself also fuels all that algae and everything else on that roof, keeping it wetter for longer and just fueling the growth of it. If it's just a normal roof out in the open, usually it's about 1 to 3 years is what we recommend. That's just about the normal time that you start noticing growth on it again.
Okay.
If you really want to stay on top of it, we would recommend doing it yearly.
Doing it yearly.
Yes, at the best of the best, that's what you would recommend, yeah.
Okay. But then again, there's other services also that you offer, not just the roofs. I know I get off on the, the roofing part of it because, it kind of coincides of how a homeowner can take care of their roof line. But there's also a benefit to cleaning soffits and even gutters. I'm assuming you do some gutter cleaning in that as well. Besides just the cleaning part of it, is there any benefit to them can moss build up on those on the vinyl siding or on their painted surface, of keeping it clean to not damage it? What other benefits there for them do you see doing the other services?
Yeah, so a big one is obviously your gutters and your soffits. A lot of times you'll get a lot of spider webs and that kind of thing building up in your soffits, and even growth, of course, and that kind of thing. And that just attracts a bunch of bugs and that, and as they start getting into your soffits, and then they get further into your house, and then as it goes on, I'm sure you've seen it all. Gutters, of course, if your gutters are full every year and they're getting clumped up every single year, all that water's doing is just sitting up there, keeping everything more humid up there, and it's also just running off your house. So all of that water is now fueling all of the surfaces and algae that is growing on the surfaces below that, like your siding and your windows and that kind of thing. It's very good to clean those. Usually in that 1 to 3 year range, just because you'll start getting the algae and stuff on that too. And that also it's growing on the surface, but it's also embedding itself into the surface as well, and it ends up damaging it after so many years. Yeah,
and for a standpoint, where roofing and gutters go together for us is, the water coming off the roof's got to go into something, and the whole point of a gutter system was to protect a foundation.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that it's to keep the water off your head, but it's really not. It's really to protect your foundation. So, one of the important factors of keeping a gutter clean and keeping that debris out of it is you don't want the clogging of the downspouts.
Of course,
because it starts building up. You get clogged downspouts. All of a sudden, like you said, water can't flow out of the gutter. So now it starts building up inside. It starts pulling away from it, and it loses its purpose.
And now you got 50 or 100 gallons of water just sitting on your roof at all times now.
That's correct. So I do believe that homeowners should also do a regular maintenance on their gutters, just the same as you do your house, and a cleaning is good. So that's a service that you offer to them. If you go out there and their gutters are clogged with full of leaves, I'm assuming you clean all that out for them, and then clean it with I'm assuming a softer water solution or something, or pressure washing to get that out of the gutters to keep it clear and free flowing. Yeah, so our processes for gutters, we offer 2 services for gutters specifically. Okay. We do gutter clean out, and that's just your standard removing all your leaves and debris from inside and giving it a good rinse, so it's not going to collect debris as new debris comes in, and hopefully it flows out as much as possible. And then we do gutter whitening. That is using a soft wash chemical, or sometimes a more specific higher strength chemical is needed for like your black stripes and that kind of thing on gutters. Yes. What that does though is kind of what's in the name. It whitens the gutter or cleans all the organics and any kind of staining on the gutters and that kind of thing. Again, so you try to keep a high pressure away from it. So that way, of course. There's sealers and everything in there, which is something that I also recommend for homeowners is checking that, because, sealants can go bad. We don't want our end caps leaking. We don't want water coming out in areas. So a hard wash would definitely, a pressure wash would take it would hurt that and damage that. So it's good to hear for the homeowners that you're doing it in a soft manner that protects all that. We are here with the roofing. We do try to get people to go on and put a leaf protection on their gutters.
Okay.
So that way that it's not building up inside of it.
Yeah.
But it still needs to have someone coming around and cleaning the front of those gutters and all that to keep the small debris out of it. The larger debris is what it's going to keep out, but you're always going to get a granule or something like that that's washing in. So it's good to try to just, take and get some water and somebody to come in to clean that, to flush it out so you don't have that buildup in it.
Yeah.
What we find a lot of times is homeowners, they have the black pipes running underground. And, I see a lot of people, they have to spend a lot of money on that part to fix it because it gets clogged in the ground. And once it's clogged in there, you have to just remove it and put a new system in. So I'm glad to see that you do some soft washing on that to help keep those downspouts flowing and then to try to keep that,
of course,
that part of it clean for the homeowners.
Yeah, and we try to do as much soft washing as possible because pressure washing, yes, it may remove all the stuff on the surface and clean the surface, but when you're soft washing, it really takes the variable of being able to damage something just right out of the equation. Where as long as you are knowing the chemicals that you are using and trained in the chemicals that you are using,
Yes.
It just basically, the chemical does all the work, and it is just spraying it on and rinsing it off, almost like washing a car or something without scrubbing.
And just so the homeowners out there and people in the community understand, is that when we're talking about chemicals, though, we're talking about more of a cleaning solution that's not hard on their roofs or hard on their sidings and their gutters, because a lot of people don't want to damage their color, and they worry, okay, if I use this chemical, what is it going to do to the product? So I know you had said earlier that you make sure you use products that are safe for asphalt products by the shingle manufacturers out there. Just giving that reassurance to the homeowner out there, I think makes a big difference on what you're using.
Of course, and so almost all of the stuff that we wash, we use the manufacturer recommended chemicals and cleaning process. Obviously for roofs and that kind of thing, they recommend the soft wash and everything, so you're not up there with a pressure washer blowing all your granulars away, like you said. And then for specialty stains and that kind of thing, you do get into some acids and some stronger chemicals. But what we do to really ensure there is no, even if it is the worst of the worst scenario where this chemical does do something and it is something weird on the surface of the paint or it reacts with something just strange, because it's chemistry in a way when you're messing with chemicals. Where was I going?
So the chemicals, you don't want it to mess with anything in the shingle.
So what we do is we we'll do a test spot in a very inconspicuous small area where you're most likely never to see it or that kind of thing. And we will just almost just get like a little dropper and just drop a tiny little bit of the chemical on the surface. And even if it does react with it, it is very easy to paint over it or fix that small area.
Now, one of the things that I would ask you, and maybe homeowners ask you, is how old is too old for a roof to be soft washed? Because after you get to a certain point of age in something, it's going to start having more granule loss. Do you ever go out and find houses that the shingles are just really beyond and that you really shouldn't touch it?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
So usually whenever I start noticing heavy moss buildup and heavy growth, you start noticing that the roof starts to have some divots. It starts to look soft in a lot of areas. You kind of just start noticing that the roof is deteriorating, and a wash isn't going to do anything but remove what is already growing up there. But the damage is already done.
Okay.
So in those scenarios, that's when I give you a call or one of your sales reps a call, and they'll come and take out a look in that.
So, there's so many different companies out there, and, again, it's all about education based, but I also believe in that we need to be fair to our customers. I've heard of so many guys out there that will get up there, and that's the reason I asked you that question, so customers could hear your perspective on it. Because there's so many customers out there, or so many companies out there, that they're just looking to make a dime. Let's just put it that way. They're looking to make a dime off of it, and they're going to pressure wash or do whatever just to make money. And those are the guys you got to be careful of. Okay, so what is it that you're doing for your customers to set you apart from that? Or are you the education base of it?
Of course.
Can you explain that a little bit?
So I can actually give you an example. Yesterday I got called out to this nice older lady, wanted to get her house and one of her sheds cleaned and everything. So I went over there and I was explaining to her, she kind of had a lot of growth on her roof and that kind of thing. And I was telling her, you may want to look into this. It prolongs the life of your roof, and it just removes all the organics, and it makes it just look nicer and everything too. She started telling me how she's lived in that house for about 25 years now. It was the original roof on the house, and she just thinks that it probably would be a better thing just to have a roofer take a look at it and see if it even makes sense to clean it because of how old the roof is and that kind of thing. So what I did is I reached out to one of your guys that I'm in contact with, and I just told her that I was going to have him come out. I know that y'all offer free quotes and that kind of thing, so I told her that he would come out. He's not going to try to sell you the roof or anything. He's going to take a look at it and tell you if you really do need the roof. If you do need the roof, then can walk you through the processes, if the insurance can take care of it and that thing, and I'm sure you can talk more on that.
Yeah.
And then if you don't need a roof, he will tell you, and then you can come back to me, and we can clean it, and I can get you a price on that and that kind of whole thing.
So that's the thing. We're trying to change the industries, and one of the things that I'm doing here in the community is I really want to make a difference out there, because we have a lot of bad actors on the roofing side. Of course. And I know even on your side, there's a lot of companies out there. So we really that's really what brought this all about. This being our first episode of this, and you bringing you in, is that we really wanted to educate the homeowners out there and make sure that they understood what was going on, but to show them the difference that we're trying to make out in the community. Because for me, when I started Worx, it was all about how can we better our community. It's not about what we can do just for us, but how can we build that confidence back in our industry out here. Yeah. And being transparent is how we have to do it. We have to wade through all the bad actors out there, and it does make it difficult in our industry, especially my industry, and you can speak for it on yours, but it makes it difficult because so many people are just worried about the money they're going to get instead of just being honest. So that's why here at Worx, we offer the free inspections. We come out there and inspect it. If you have damage, we let you know. We let you know whether or not an insurance can help take care of it, or if it's something that you're going to have to take care of your own. But a lot of times it may be just a maintenance thing that we need to do for you. So that's why we made sure that we offered maintenance packages, because not every roof at this time needs to be replaced. Of course. Same thing in yours. Not every home that you pull up to that day probably needs a cleaning. We've got new houses out there, and they may need one thing cleaned, but they may not need everything cleaned. Exactly. And it's just about educating them into that facet. Yeah.
So we offer the same thing. We do free, no cost, no obligation quotes. They're all transparent and everything, so if you have a question on why this is that price, we can walk you through that. We can walk you through the processes and everything that goes along with that as well.
Okay. And one of the things that I would like to make sure of, Aiden, is how do folks get a hold of you? Like how can somebody in our area get a hold of you? How they can find you? I mean, you've got a nice logo, so I can tell everybody you just got to look for the signs with the gator on it. Of course, definitely different. But how can they get in touch with you?
So we are on all social medias. We're very prevalent on Facebook, Google, and that kind of thing. You can check out the website at proflowpws.com, or if you're wanting to get a quote or something and want to reach out to me directly, you can call my number at 828-578-8796.
Okay, good. That way it gives people a way to be able to get in touch with you and at least get the free estimate on it and see, like I said, whether they need your service or not. The same way that we offer to our customers here. Kind of just to get off of the that part of it. One of the other things that I like to discuss is community involvement. Is there anything out there or anything that you're working towards in the community that people that you may want to know about? I know when we met you through a BNI Group. How has that changed you being a new business? Of
course. So the BNI Group specifically, it is a business group with different business members and owners from the community, and we meet weekly at a local church in town, and we just kind of talk and see how we can help each other out and refer to each other and that kind of thing. It is very helpful for me not being from the area. I don't know very many people in the area, so me joining something like this just throws me into the area and throws me into all the other people in the area that has been here forever and do know everyone in the area. I've also been doing a lot of different networking events around here, just meeting all the amazing people in the area. A bunch of new people in the area for sure too, so it's interesting kind of talking to them, seeing where they came from, because it's a little bit of everywhere right now is what I'm seeing.
Right.
I am looking into, I want to start doing some charity work around town and volunteering and that kind of thing. There's a couple 5Ks coming up that I was looking into and that kind of thing. So.
Okay, good. And talking on that marketing aspect, as a business owner, just so everybody out there can understand, it's hard when it comes to the marketing. We do a lot here. We are on Google and Facebook and TikToks and all that. But at the end of the day, just so when people see this, I don't know if this is anything you do or not, but a lot of our guys do go door to door, and it is hard. A lot of people don't want you there. They've seen other people around doing it or whatever, but we feel like that's the best way to get ourselves out into the community. And we're offering a free inspection. That's really all we're there to do. I try to tell people all the time, I'm not here to sell you anything, and we don't want our guys there to sell you something. We're here to offer you a service. And what we're trying to do is spread that by word of mouth, And that's, again, the point of this is to get people educated on when they see us at the door or they see someone like you coming. Not all of us are bad, and not all of us are there just to immediately try to sell them something.
Of course, yeah.
We're there to offer them a service of an inspection, just like with you of a free estimate. We want to do business with our community, and I would rather. The whole point of this is for us to do business with other small businesses in our community, not always going out straight for the large businesses, because as the small businesses you can offer them just as much. It's just you maybe don't have the recognition yet, like the big corporations, and it's the same for us. Okay, so folks, again today we've been here with Aiden from ProFlow Power Washing. If you folks need to get in touch with Aiden, you can reach him on his number. You can reach him on social media, but you can reach him at 828-578-8796. Aiden, I really appreciate you being here today. It's been very educational for us, bringing all this information to the homeowners out there. And, for anybody out there needing it, again, I'm Blake. I'm the owner here at Worx. And if you would need us for our services, again, we'll offer you a free inspection. Come out, take a look at it, see if you need anything. If not, we may even talk to you about some maintenance packages. But if you need to get a hold of us, you can reach us at 828-578-6501. You can also find us online at roofworxpros.com, and Worx is with an X, so just make sure you do that part there. And you can even find us on Facebook and TikTok. There'll be more to come. We're going to be doing more of these interviews, getting education based. And we're going to be talking more about the community and the different things. You know, Aiden, I really appreciate you talking about the things that you have coming up in the community. It's something that, you know, speaks volumes for me, you know, of getting people involved out in our community.
Of course,
okay?
yeah.
So we really appreciate you being here with us today.
Of course, thank you for having me out.
You're very welcome. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, and hope everyone out there has a great day.
Okay, y'all could like not have been better at that. So